Well, there's abuse on both sides, but can we compare the level of abuse that a woman will exert on you to what you as a man can exert on her?
Yeah, you can.
A woman is not going to be able to knock you out and put you in the hospital.
But mental abuse, sometimes you prefer to get knocked out than go through the mental abuse. No, females can mentally abuse you.
Yeah, I agree. Trust me, I agree.
No, for real.
But I don't think that we're talking about when it crosses the line of criminality. It's an actual crime.
Well, they trying to say it's a crime with him because they saying he manipulated her. She was only 18, 19, and he was his age, and he had this much amount of money, and she was so worried about her career. That's mental. That ain't criminal, right? Is that against the law? To get up on a little stupid broad, naive, and manipulate her, throw some money in her face and get some ass? Is that
No, no, but if you start to coerce her to do certain things against her will, then that's when it crosses the line into criminality. And that's what they're saying. That's what the government's saying, that at some point, sometimes Diddy forced her to do some sexual acts that at that time she might not have wanted to do. That doesn't mean that because last week she was down to do it, that doesn't take away how she felt this week.
I like her testimony though, because it seemed like she was very honest. And then, even in her indictment, she said some things I don't think really make her look the best. That the fact y'all linked up for the first time, he said, "Take this pill. What's this? Just take it. It'll make you feel good." She took it. He didn't say, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you wasn't drugged, and you just start liking it after that. It's called an addiction.
Yeah, well, we'll see because this trial is probably going to last a couple more weeks. I don't know what the evidence is going to look at the end of the day, but I can't imagine that the federal government is prosecuting this case without establishing that coercion took place. That's all they got to do is establish that coercion took place, stuff against other people's will occurred. And you know a dude like Diddy with the money he has, with the he's kind of obnoxious, he's aggressive. You mean to tell me you don't believe he forced some chicks to do some stuff that they didn't want to do? Or
No.
manipulated them into doing it?
Force and manipulate is something different.
Yeah, you're right.
It's different. Manipulation and force.
Well, I think that in order to force a woman to do a sexual act, it requires a level of manipulation in it.
No.
I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. If he's gonna force Cassie to have sex with two men at the same time, he's probably got to coerce her and manipulate her with gifts, possible gifts,
Hey.
money.
This is an example of manipulation. Damn. So you ain't gonna give me no threesome? Well, I really don't want to. All right, forget it. It's good. You don't got to. I'm just gonna go to my mom's for tonight. And you know damn well the freak live down the street from your mom's. All right, I do it. Just cause she don't want him to have sex with nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's manipulation. Force. Grab by her neck. Get over here. Shut up. Put your mouth right here. That's force. Or even I'm gonna beat your ass. You better get in there and get naked. That's force. Manipulation and force is two different things.
Okay, but we're talking about also to coerce somebody. Does coercion require physical force every time? I'm not sure because the jury's going to get read some instructions on the definitions of these terms. Coercion is definitely illegal. But does coercion require
At what point do coercion become illegal?
Well, coercion just means you're forcing someone to do something that they don't want to do. Like OJ. OJ, if you looked at the video of OJ in Vegas when he got arrested for trying to steal his stuff back, he was forcing these guys to do stuff against their will. He didn't beat nobody up. He didn't slap anyone. He didn't pistol whip anyone. I don't even think he was armed.
So coercion is what you saying, another word for instructing?
Coercion is sort of like
Instructing somebody to do something.
having them do something against their will. Having someone to do something that they don't really want to do.
Well, I'm suing my mama, man. She had me washing dishes all them years.
Hey, but being coerced to wash dishes is not illegal. But being coerced to have sex with a male prostitute that you flew in, then you're crossing the line. So yeah,
Man, but how could you be getting coercion when you picking this? Oh, I got this female on the computer looking at the size of the private part she want to deal with and the complexion of the man. You in heaven.
Yeah,
I'm not buying that, man.
but you're talking
Free
about
Diddy.
one incident where the government is talking about like 9 years. They're going over multiple years. But I don't know. I do think it looks a little weak.
I
But
believe
but
so.
here's the thing. Unfortunately, because this is a federal case, we don't get to see the testimony. We don't get to see the witnesses. We don't get to see their demeanor when they're on the stand. So it's kind of hard to judge how powerful each witness is. But I could tell you this: I was listening to Neek at Night, one of my colleagues in this YouTube space. She flew to Brooklyn. She talked about the Danity Kane chick that testified. She was in the court, and she said that Danity Kane chick did not come off credible, which is one of Diddy's groups. And one of the girls from Danity Kane is saying basically Diddy's a bad guy.
Right.
But she said that girl did not come off credible. And that's what you need to be able to see to judge a case, to be in there watching the witnesses or at least watching the video of it. But unfortunately, the feds they don't allow that, so we're going off of like hearsay and third party information. And actually, let's play this final clip, clip number 4 of a reporter named Elizabeth Milner. I've been checking out Elizabeth Milner from Law and Crime. She's a sister, and I think she does a great job at trying to let us know what's going on in court. Play clip 4.
Essentially. And so we learned yesterday that there were AR-15s inside the Miami property with the scratched off serial numbers. We saw that there were platform high heels that were 7 inches tall inside this Miami home. There were sex items inside this home found in the primary bedroom closet. There were then we got a close up of the red high heels and the sex toys, and then these high heels were actually displayed in front of the jury. So Special Agent Gannon, he just took up the heels, kind of showed them to the jury, then put them back into the evidence box, and then kind of had it with the rest of the evidence. And so they said more than a dozen high heels were actually seized from this property. Then we saw some shoes, we saw some boots in the primary closet, and these were special boots. They were Balenciaga boots that I myself cannot necessarily afford. But inside these boots were 3 cell phones. Diddy didn't have much reaction during this testimony, but it was interesting that these cell phones were found in these Balenciaga boots that were inside the closet. And so we also saw a black Gucci bag that was also found inside the closet, and inside that Gucci bag was pills, a powder substance. There was also eye drops in the bag. And so,
Okay, and she went on to say that they tested those eye drops and they had some different drugs in them. And that's another part that we didn't talk about is him drugging either Cassie or other people prior to the sexual acts, I guess, to get them more willing to do what Diddy wanted them to do. So that's another. The drugs is using the drugs is a non-physical, non-violent way to coerce somebody to do something you want them to do, and I'm sure the government's going to play that up big time.
Right.
But he's charged with 5 different counts. And I'm gonna go out on a limb right now and say he's probably not gonna get found guilty of all 5 of those counts. But for him to sweep, get a not guilty on all 5 of those counts, whew, I don't know. But I definitely don't see him being found guilty on all 5. But there's still a lot more evidence to come. They saying this trial might last like another 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month. I'm not sure. But this trial ain't nowhere near over.